Hey you guys, I hope everyone's doing well. I am back today with another video, and this is a part 2 of the jobs in Mexico videos. And this is like the second time I do this video. Last night I tried doing it, but I was just all over the place because I had to really look into law benefits and just little things like that I just didn't have all the way clear because I haven't always had all the law benefits. So maybe I will leave like a thing or two out, but I'm trying my best out here. Okay, so our current minimum wage as of now with Obrador is about 100 pesos a day, and in the northern part of Mexico it's about 180. He did bring it up because I think before this it was even lower, and that's about 5 to 10 American dollars a day. By day meaning because mostly everybody gets paid by the day here. There are certain places that will pay you by the hour, like teaching and jobs like that, but for the most part, it is by the day. So I did find this study online that someone shared, and I thought it was pretty interesting because it showed an average monthly income according to your level of education, and I think it ranged from like 3,000 pesos to about 30,000 pesos a month. Again, according to the level of education. This is not always guaranteed. Having an education doesn't always doesn't always mean that you're going to make a lot of money, but for the most part, it sets you in a better place. Now, for bilinguals, you're automatically an advantage because you know a second language. So whether you have, a little bit of education or not, you could still get pretty far. I got asked once in one of the polls that I do on Instagram, is it hard to come up in Mexico? I would say for you, it shouldn't be as hard because you already have, something else that you can use to your advantage that could make you more money. But for the most part, it can be hard because salaries can be so low. It can be a factor to why people migrate. I think that is one of the reasons why the North does have salaries a little higher, because I think it's something about that. I heard that once, like they raise like our salaries are just a little higher in hopes that people would kind of just stay within the country instead of like leaving or like crossing or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure if that's the reason, but yeah, salaries are pretty low. And I think this takes all of us to ask the question, like, are salaries according to the cost of living? And I would say that for the most part, no, they're not according to the cost of living. In the sense that we do have like pretty expensive bills. If you're making, like, for example, here where I live in my area, everybody, like your regular cashier at Oxxo or Soriana or Walmart, your average worker anywhere makes about 6,000 pesos to about 8,000 pesos. And this is all including from like having a secundaria, which is like your junior high or high school, and even licenciaturas, even having a degree. This is around the money that everybody makes. So if you're paying for a mortgage, you get left with about 1,000 pesos a week, and how much is that gonna I mean, like, it can get hard. For example, like groceries alone are about 1,000, 1,500 pesos, at least here where I live. And if that's how much you're making a week, I mean, there's no money left for any bills, and your light bill is pretty high. Like, not everybody can afford to leave their ACs on day and night. That's just not a thing here. So people go out and buy fans. I actually went out and bought a fan a few days ago, and I vlogged some of the prices. After this video, I think I'll be posting that so you can get an idea of like the prices that we have here, and then you can compare it to the salaries, and kind of like I said, so you can kind of get an idea of why people struggle and why money doesn't always go along here. Like, I think it's mainly because we have a lot of things imported. So let's say you would pay, I don't know, $5, like you would pay like $5 for like a lipstick or something, and here it's going to be about $10 for that same lipstick. And you make dollars, but we make pesos. So that makes it like really like a lot more expensive. You're not going to spend like a fourth of your paycheck on a lipstick. It's crazy. So salaries, don't really match up. And this is the reason why, people struggle a little more to have things, because things can be pricey. I think for the most part down here, we try to buy secondhand. I've said this a lot. And this is actually the reason why, and speaking on salaries is actually the reason why I wanted to start making videos on like struggle tips or like struggle meals or something, because kind of just show y'all how I've learned to make ends meet here, because we have been like within these salaries, all the like the whole time that I've been here. For those asking, like, do nurses or do all professions in the US pay the same in Mexico? I can't speak for every profession because I don't know, but as as far as my experience, I would say that nursing doesn't pay, I mean, nowhere near as it does in the US. We don't even have a lot of specialties that y'all do. We don't have nurse practitioners, for example. So things are very different. And I'm not saying this to discourage anyone. There are a lot of specialties, but they're just, it's at least where I'm at. There's not a lot of, there's not a lot of ways that I could make money with nursing. Maybe if I move to another place, maybe. Okay, so you guys know, let's get into the prestaciones de ley. Las prestaciones de ley son law benefits de ley, porque todos deberían de tenerlas. Everybody should have them, and this is not always the case. Like I mentioned, I think it was in the beginning, I've never had all these law benefits. Of course, not every job is gonna have all of them, but you should have like the basic ones. I wanted to throw this in there because when you go out there job hunting, you need to know what this is, so you can get an idea of what they're talking about and you won't be so lost out there. I may not mention all of them. There may be places that give more, but like I said, these are like the main ones. I'm gonna try to be brief, and if there's something that you really want more insight on, you can just leave a comment and I'll do like a little separate video. Like I could do like little segments on each one, but I'm just gonna try to generalize so you can get an idea anyways. The first one would be IMSS. IMSS es el Instituto Mexicano del Seguro Social. This is basically medical services. If you're a worker and you're married and you have kids, you can cover them, and I think up to your like immediate family, like your mommy or dad or something. So you should be able to find an IMSS clinic or hospital, I mean, anywhere near you. I'm sure you've already seen them. Another one would be Infonavit. Infonavit is basically, Infonavit is like a mortgage lender. Because again, salaries can be so low. What the law does is bring in Infonavit, which is like a federal institution type of thing. And they will work with your employer. So the longer you work, for whichever company or person or whatever that is in alliance with Infonavit, you can build like this credit score. And then after like a year or two, they'll give you that money and you can apply for a house, which would be like las casas de Infonavit that I've mentioned before, and you can pay that off in like 30 years or something, or I think they brought it down to 15, but Infonavit's a pretty good benefit. Mostly everybody has it. I'll probably go more into detail later with Infonavit because sometimes it's worth it and sometimes it's not. And I kind of just want to point out the good and the bad and just keep it real when it comes to Infonavit, but I'll try to just add that later. Reparto de utilidades. El reparto de utilidades is kind of like, I had to look into this one because it's kind of like still a little hard for me to understand. I think this is when companies get money back for like the whole year's gain or something, and by law they're obligated to give their workers a certain amount of this like money that they got back. If you ever see reparto de utilidades or just utilidades, that means that from May to June, around those dates is when you'll get an additional amount of money. You would have to be, I think, working 60 days within the company to be able to get this benefit. It works something like that. Los bonos o vales de despensa are like food stamps. You're gonna get a card and they're gonna deposit money into that card, and you can go to any big store or little store or wherever it is that you want to go. Pharmacy, I'm not sure if like pharmacies take it, but you can ask around, or I think they'll tell you the stores that you can use them in. And they're pretty good help. I actually made I think like one of the first videos that I made, I mentioned one of those food stamp cards, and I mean, they're pretty good help at the end of the month for sure, like weekly. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's like monthly. Okay, and the last one would be your Aguinaldo, which is like end of the year bonus that they give you, and I think it's like a week or two of your salary. So those are some of the most common law benefits that you'll see when you're out job hunting, guys. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to add a few words in there that you may not know, that you might run into when you're out here job hunting. And the first one would be solicitar. Like when you see se solicita or estamos solicitando, that means hiring. Vacante means like a job opening. Puede ser un puesto o una vacante. I'm not sure if that's like a very obvious one, but I wanted to throw it in there anyways. Solicitud de empleo or solicitud elaborada is basically an application. Sometimes they'll ask you for the curriculum vitae, which is like a resume. And curriculums can be a little different. If you have a really hard time with it, just make one like really good one and keep that format and just write it out with that one, because that's what I did a long time ago. And it just, I mean, I'll update it every once in a while, but it's really, I mean, it's basically the same info and it's not that different. So just try to check that out. I'll see if I can find some links that you can look into when making a curriculum vitae. Prima vacacional, which may sound a little odd because I'm sure you've never heard like the word prima used in this sense, but prima vacacional is kind of like this money that you get when you go out on vacation. They'll give you like an extra amount of money just so you could have a little more when you have like vacation leave. So if you see that, then that's what it means. So those are some of the main ones that I could think of. I did have a hard time making this because you know, there's still a lot of things that I don't know, and if I did forget something, shoot, and you know what, add it at the bottom. Let people know you know, something that may help somebody out. But before I end this, I just wanted to say that I know that salaries can be low, but this is the reason why a lot of people, you know, do different things to make ends meet, because sometimes it can get a little hard out here. But you know, like I said, man, if you're bilingual, you've got, you know, a step ahead of people, and there's definitely ways that you can make something happen. Just keep your head up and don't give up. I just want to say that if you're just getting here and you're having a hard time getting situated, man, I remember when I remember when I first got here and I made $40 a week and I had to feed my son, and he was a baby and I was a single mom. I used to struggle like to even, you know, buy milk, buy diapers. So if you're going through that right now, I completely understand. And I'm always gonna say this, you know, probably every video, man, keep your head up. I'm gonna keep encouraging you to not give up. So anyways, you guys, I will be back shortly with the story time after this, because because these informative videos, at least this one got a little like hard for me. I'm like, dang, am I gonna get this across right? Are people gonna understand what I'm saying? Either way, man, if you made it to the end of this and you're new to my channel, I just wanna say welcome to my channel. I'm gonna get professional about doing this and say like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Y'all stay blessed.